Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Okay. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Hope everything sounds good. If anybody's out there, let me know. I'm trying to have my phone here so I can see the chats. Probably be easier than trying to leave my computer up because I want to leave the computer up to see what's going on the screen here. So this is an ELEGOO Mars. It's there was a really good deal last week on AliExpress. There was a massive discount. I picked one up, and I know a couple other people did. I know several other people did as well at that discount. It didn't go on very well. I was kind of worried they wouldn't actually do it. I've got a little child that's looking in at what's going on in here. I wasn't sure if they were going to honor that really deep discount because it was $150 less. Ended up being like $133 with free shipping from China, and that was just a pretty incredible deal. Everything that I've been hearing is it's about 70% of a any cubic photon, so sounds like a pretty good deal. If the quality is just a little off of a photon for that much less money, heck, having a spare resin printer, I'm all for that. So here's the unboxing of it. You can see it's right here. I'll get on with it. Hopefully get some more people joining in. If you guys have any questions, just fire away the questions. Oh, actually, hold on for a second. I'm gonna make an announcement that it is going on. Let's see here. It's live. There we go. I'm gonna actually put it on Twitter too. Let's see here. Okay, that's a horrifying thing to say on Twitter right away. I hate how Facebook puts their little tag in everything you paste. Okay, so there we go. Now we're up on up there. Let's see. Hey. Okay, you got me to laugh. You happy? So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get on with this unboxing of the Mars printer. If it's anything like the last one that I did, resin printers are pretty simple to set up. You know, it's not like a FDM where you have to spend half an hour to an hour putting it together. You basically, with resin printers, you pretty much just take them out of the box and set them up, and you're ready to go. So this is a box inside of a box. I don't know that paper did a whole lot of good, so hopefully this didn't bounce around too much in there. There's a little piece of paper in there. I was curious what that was. One thing I can say is this is encased in tape. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where my Leatherman is. Well, thankfully the scraper is working pretty good here. A little multi-function device. There we go. Yeah, sorry if you guys were waiting for this for a little while. Sorry it took so long. It's kind of amazing how you lose everything when you don't do any streaming for several months. Realized too that I haven't charged my batteries on my phone. Luckily, I do have a backup that actually I can plug right into my power strip, so I can actually run my camera indefinitely. I did that because I also like to do on my camera, I like to do time lapses, and you need to have your camera going for a lot longer when you do those. So thankfully I had that, but then I couldn't find pieces for that, and what a pain in the butt. But I was finally able to track everything down. Got to change a dirty diaper, you know, all that fun stuff that you get to do as a father and as somebody trying to get a stream going that hasn't had a stream for quite a while. So a little toolkit here. We'll get to that in a second. So the Mars comes on. It's back here. So as you can see, it basically comes one whole piece here. I think that's all packing material in there. It came packed pretty well. So I'm hopeful that even if it did bounce around in there, this packaging, this foam packaging was pretty strong stuffed. You can see nice thick packaging all around. So hopefully that protected it when it was trying to bounce around inside there. See if we can, no, nothing else. So before we get to the actual unboxing, it's one thing I'm not a big fan of, I will say this right now, is this is the back of the unit. This is where power is, and this is where the USB is. Now on the Photon, it's on the right side, which is a lot easier to get to. Though, on my side, I do actually have a link to a deal. A guy created basically it's a Raspberry Pi thumb drive. It's really what it ends up being. It uses Pi 0 Wi-Fi, and you have a micro SD card on it, and you just access it over Wi-Fi, and you just leave it plugged in. So I'm gonna probably end up doing that with this one. Actually, I want to do it with the Photon too, so I may end up doing that for both. They're what, $10 I think for a Raspberry Pi. So USB thumb drive. We'll see how that turns out. I have a couple that at least look like this and have worked in the past. Little mixing cup. That's actually not too bad. It's the first one I've received like that. Some gloves that came in the mixing cup. Here is the power supply. Let's get that ripped off. So there we go. Get that off. So there's the power power supply. Here is the little plastic scraper. What I like to use is a paint palette. I find this works incredibly well because it's metal for one, and it's very, 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 very narrow. So I can get this with my head. It's very, very, very narrow, so it'll slide up under those prints real easy. Looks like there's a few pieces that'll have to be little bolts and set screws. The normal strainers that you see in a lot of these. Hex wrench there. That's actually not a bad one there. I have no idea what snips. Snips that came in a box. Does that mean they're a little higher quality than most? We'll have to see. They're a little narrow, but for pulling stuff off, that's not too bad. And then some face masks. Actually, a nice thing about it, I like this box. This is a good sized box for all this. I may end up keeping this around. Well, actually, who am I kidding? Probably am getting a plastic box to put all these in because I already have one here. So here's the manual. It's actually a nice looking manual. I have no idea how good of quality it is because I haven't actually looked at this before. But the instructions actually look pretty good. Just looking at this really quickly, it actually looks pretty high quality. It says to follow them on Facebook to get free FEP film, so that'd be kind of convenient. Always nice to have some extra FEP film. It looks like the locking mechanism on the for leveling the bed is similar to the Photon. Looks like it's a single deal. Well, no, it looks like there's something else. So, sorry. I know this makes for really bad streaming that I'm trying to read all this. I'm just actually kind of just glancing through this really quick, seeing if anything really see if anything sticks out, and I don't notice anything sticking out. So let's get to taking all the plastic wrap off this. Getting this started here. Let's see. Yeah, the USB is on the back of this unit. So that's going to make trying to get to that kind of a pain in the back, or pain in the back, pain in the butt, pain in the back side. Not the very, very first time I've seen questionable design decisions. So this does look a lot like a Photon build. It's got the same two deals here for holding it down. The build plate's got the little drain on this corner. It's black, so it's a little hard to see. It's on that front right corner. Slightly different shape than the Photon, but still very reminiscent of a Photon. So let's pull this out. There's the build plate. Lots of packaging in this. Lots of so that is one reason why I'm kind of hopeful that this survived the trip. I do have to admit, I do like that whole open thing there, where the Photon is all enclosed, so you can actually get out and around it. That'll, I think, be kind of convenient. We'll have to see there. So, let's see if it'll power on. Like I said, unboxing these is pretty easy. It's just going through it, just blowing through everything, see what you've got. And I've already got the slicer. It just uses the what's it called? Chew tubu or whatever, chew box slicer, or however that's pronounced. It's basically what I use on the Photon. I don't use the exact Photon branded slicer. Just need to make sure this turns on. Does this have a light on it? Yes, it does. There we go. I have a smart switch. I always like to hook these up to a smart switch when I first start them up so that I can see their power usage. Hey, there we go. We'll pull this off. There we go. You know, I should have hooked up a webcam to the system. Okay, so it's turning on now. Probably heard that beep. Might be able to hear it making sounds now. I'm gonna turn this here so you can kind of see what's going on. So, I'm gonna just see here. Oh, I was gonna fire up the Photon and compare the menus, but it looks very similar to a Photon menu. I think it's a little back, and it actually looks pretty much the same. The icon's a little different. It's got a link. You click that, and you can. It's got their service information. It's actually kind of cool. Choose your language. Tells you the system. Ooh, I could turn off the audio. No more beeps. So I am going to move this up. Oh, that's home. Okay, the home icon kind of sucks. I'll tell you that right now. I don't like the home icon. So the Photon actually has. I don't think you actually can see that. I'll let you see my beautiful face here. So the Photon actually has a home icon. When you click that, it takes you to home. This one has a bizarre. It basically just looks like this, going down into the into there. That's home, and I'm not a big fan of that. So this has a little bit better, a little more positive feel there, and that locks on pretty darn good to it. A little pretty solid, and I like how that goes together. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like there's actually there it looks like there's three nuts, or three bolts, or four bolts, I mean, and the three. No, I guess is there two? Oh, I guess there's two bolts that you use to level it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything, because I want to get this started, see if we can get it fired up. So let's get this down to the home position. See what that looks like. Let's see here. No. Hey, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. That would be cool to have a clear vat. So somebody was actually talking about building one on the Anycubic Facebook group. So if that is something you're really interested in, you might be able to look for that. There were a couple of ways they were talking about it. It was either somebody was looking at building one, or a company was looking at it. They were talking, a few things they were talking about was maybe putting a window in the side of the vat, or making it just clear like you were saying. And there was a third option. I forgot what the third option was. So I will tell you right now, I'm not a huge fan of the leveling here, unless that just doesn't fit. Mainly because I don't like that angle that it's on. And the other thing is I've got set screws and some bolts, and I'm not sure what they're for, and I don't like having extra parts. I don't know about you guys, but extra parts bother me. I'm hoping they're extra parts on purpose. Okay, so that's the right side. I'm just making sure that's, yeah. Just gonna make sure that we're level here. Make sure the bed is level. I'm actually pretty sure it is, just by looking at it. Oh, that was not on tight. I need to do something about the timeout on this. There we go. Yeah, I do agree that extra parts. Okay. Oh, I'm scooting that around a little bit. So actually, looking at this from the top, the build plate is actually offset a little bit. It's not centered on the panel. It's actually much closer on this side than it is on this side. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, so it was basically already level. I didn't have to do anything. One little quick tighten here. There we go. So I'm gonna just go up 3 spots like we do with the Flint Reed method on the Photon, and hope that works on this. So I think it's actually ready to go. Just had to get that working. So I'm gonna try something. This is a bioresin from Anycubic. I want to test it on. They're testing it right now. I'm one of several people that got a small sample of it. They want to test it out. Actually have one. This is a figure that I printed. This comes from the anvil.co website, custom miniature maker. They sent me a free code to try it out. So this, this is a freebie for me. They're just trying to get people to try it out and wanted me to give it a shot. Earlier this year, or last year, I guess, I printed a Bowman on a chicken because, let's face it, it's pretty cool to have a guy riding on a battle chicken. But I used to raise chickens when I was younger and show them, so I'm kind of a geek that way. But that's what this particular resin is. It's a bioresin. It uses it's some sort of soy-based material, so it's not, supposedly it's not as nasty as a lot of the stuff that we have been using. It doesn't stink quite as bad, though. I honestly find the heart stuff to be probably the least stinky resin I've found so far. And I've actually used quite a few resin, or maybe not quite a few. I've used a few resins. I've tried this bioresin, the standard Anycubic comes with it. I've tried the Monicure Rapid. I've tried several types. This Hards Labs is probably the least stinky. Results wise, I've pretty much found them all to be the same. They all produce good results, so I can't really say one is a lot better. Just one's less stinky. Now the Monicure that I have, the blue, it's pretty, but it was really, really stinky at first. But it cleared up within a couple of days, and the stink almost completely went away. So I don't know. It's just one of those weird things that I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this stuff is. But I know other people have said the Monicure doesn't smell bad, and the stuff I have is a little on the old side, so they may have changed their formulation a little bit after I received mine. And I wouldn't be too surprised about that. So I want to see. This is the, yeah. See, it doesn't have a bad smell to it. Ew. So I'm just noticing something. This, give me a second here. So this goes directly, I'm actually not a huge fan of this. So this goes directly into the build plate. I have horrible lighting right here. Yeah, you can't really see it back here. So this goes directly into the build plate. So that ball likes on this, I just don't like the fact that you're going to be getting resin inside the inside of the threads probably doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's probably just more of a pet peeve of mine. So your Anycubic didn't smell near as bad as the Monicure you have? Yeah, see, my Anycubic smelled, or hold on. No, my Anycubic didn't smell as, yeah, my Anycubic did not smell near as bad as the Monicure. But like I said, the Monicure smelled pretty strong, and it's a much older batch. I was wondering about getting resin in the joints, but the joint is actually up. Let me turn this. It's actually up above. You know what? Let me do this. Turn this on. Let's see if I can get a good picture. Nah. I hate black. Black sucks at times. Let me raise this back up again. So the actual mechanism is actually inside the or is inside this part here. It's the top part. Really, the build. It's all opposite when you're trying to do this. Darn it. So the build plate's flat. There's really nothing there. It's just screws right in. So I don't think you're really going to be missing out on anything. The ball joint's up there. So you're not really going to get it in there, in the ball joint on this. And yeah, that kind of sucks for lighting for this, doesn't it? I was a little more hopeful for that. Okay, come on. Try and get the chat back here. And it doesn't want to rotate back for me. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so it's a little different. It kind of just bothers me. I don't think it functionally matters whatsoever. So let's pour this in and let's see how this works. So what I'm going to be slicing. Hey, you know what? I wonder. Oh man, I got gunk all over. Probably should use a microfiber cloth on this and not something like that, but oh well. Okay. Let's see here. I actually brought over, there we go. I love it when PNY has sales on these. I think I bought this for $5-6. Just had a sale the other day and I totally had to buy another one or two. And I lost my miniature. Okay. So let's try something new and different. I'm going to try to... I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work. I'm going to try to slice the miniature. I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to slice it in the application. Hey, there we go. So does this look okay? No, it does not have a fan inside blowing fumes out like the Anycubic. And it looks like the Anycubic actually has that on the Photon S, and I don't know why they did that. So can you guys see this? Whoops. Can you guys see this model here? just need to see how that looks. So if you take apart the photon, which I have, the fan that sits on the back corner of the internal area on the photon, the build area, actually has a filter. It's just about yay thick. It's very, very, very thin. It does not work worth crap. It actually really just sucks. So what happens is it just sucks the fumes from the resin through it and right out through the fan. You can probably hear the fan on this, just right out through that big system fan. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, let's shrink this down so, oops. It's convenient to have a laptop until you are trying to do something like this where it'd be really nice to have more than one window. And even though I have a monitor right here, I don't actually have it hooked up, and mainly because I did not plan on doing this. So I'm kind of winging it here. Let's capture the cursor. I'm actually trying to get it to I'm like, why is this not working? Here we go. This is outside the display area. Sorry, OBS is not something I'm really good at. There we go. So that shows it off for you guys. I just want to be able to have you be able to see everything. So this is another miniature that I got from Anvil. They sent me a code that I was able to pick up 4 of these for free. They just want to kind of have somebody show a few of them off because they're trying to go up against Hero Forge, and they're more inexpensive, which is nice. They're not. I don't think their models are. You don't have as many options with them, so that's something to be aware of. But I think they're kind of nice. So I've been having issues with these in that when I'm printing, they're falling off the build plate, or they're coming off the build plate. I'm not getting good adhesion, but I'm getting really good adhesion on the supports, and I had an epiphany last night. I believe the issue is that I need more supports and stronger support interface. So I'm going to go from light to heavy. And let's see here. So I'm kind of surprised this didn't have a contact shape. At one point, they did have a contact shape. Let's see here. So I'm going to try 30 again, the default, because that's been working. Let's see here. And then just going to tell it to add support everywhere. So now we just let it add the supports. Okay. So there we go. Now what I do now is I want to go around it and just look look if anything is sitting that is obvious that it's not supported. Like, I believe right there, maybe. Oh no, that is on the tail there. So one thing you can do is you can go here. You can see what we do is we look for islands. See, like right here, this would be an island if it didn't have a support where that sticks in there. We want to just look for these islands where there's nothing getting supported below it for it to build on. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I think I found one. Whoops. Whoops, what did I do? What did I'm doing Control Z to back out, and I think I screwed everything up. Okay, let's do this one more time. Let's do all these again. So I've been playing around with the layer times. So what you're saying is your exposure times. Are you saying that you add more time to them? Because I've tried adding quite a bit more time to get them to work. And that figure that I showed you earlier, so that was the only one that worked, and the other ones failed. But I think that my base time was off on that one because I had a piece fall off, and I think it fell off. Well, I know that it fell off mid-print because it mostly printed. And I think that model that actually fully printed, it fully printed before that other one fell off. And I think when it fell off, it stopped the bed from going down, and that's what messed up all the other, that one and the other two. So I know at one point that was right. It just needed a longer exposure on the bottom. And I did try upping the exposure a little bit, and that's never worked since then. So that was the reason why I was figuring with that. If I'm getting the supports, and the supports look right, and the main body is not, the main body is sticking to the vat. So that means it's not coming up when the print's pulling away. So that's the reason why I was thinking that it's not getting stuck to the supports well. But the only reason why I'm thinking that is because I did up the exposure times already quite a bit. Yeah, and like I said, that was my first thought. And like I said, the only reason on this one that I'm kind of going this other direction is because, and you can see here there's an island where this leg, let's try and get a good angle on it. You can see that it's all black there. There's nothing that it hooks to. So that needs a support. Oh, come on, give me support. There we go. The only reason why I'm kind of thinking this is because I did up the exposure some, and I did run an exposure settings test, and the exposure settings test had me up it as well. And even using that, it didn't come out right. Okay, with the Anycubic clear. I know clear's a little weird too. A little weird to work with. So the other thing too is if I have got a piece like this just kind of hanging out here, I like to add a couple of supports just to kind of help support it out there so that it has something to kind of hold on to. Oh, that's going to be a problem right there. Crap. So I need to basically start over here because he has to. I'm just going to delete him and start over. That's a bummer. Hoping that's the right one. Yeah. Did not even see that. Okay. So we'll go here. We'll stick him on his back again. I'm trying to keep him as flat as possible because he actually sticks out quite a bit. and takes a long time to print because of how long he is. So I'm trying to reduce that a little bit. I know I'm kind of cheating here a little bit. Okay, heavy, Okay, so I'm gonna do all. Huh. Have you tried anti-aliasing? Turn on anti-aliasing with the clear? Because I know that that has been added fairly recently. Oh, and speaking of which, I need to turn off the photon on this too. Let's see here. Since I've only ever printed on photon, this outputs to dot photon. So I was just thinking I need to change that so that this, I doubt, prints a dot photon file. At least I'd be surprised if it does. Okay, I'm not seeing any islands. There's some weird black inside there. I'll build one right there. I'll stick one on the elbow just in case. I figure wasting a little bit of resin is preferable to having it fail and having to reprint the whole thing. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. Let's go in here. Let's turn on anti-aliasing for him. I've never actually done this, so let's see here. That's a new setting to me. So we're going to set this to default, not in any cubic photon. So I don't know what the display is. I'm assuming it's the same. Oh, hey, look, this has instructions. Click perimeter. Let's see here. Da da da. Click perimeter and choose. No, that's not it. Da 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 da. Ah, here we go. So what I did here is, right here is where you add a printer. And look, it's right there. So it's already got the machine settings in there. That makes my life a heck of a lot easier. I'm just going through the settings to make sure. Yeah, that's their settings. So I actually want to look. Let's see here. This actually has a lot longer exposure time. Actually, leave that at 0 for that one. Okay. Actually, I'm leaving anti-aliasing off on this because I don't know for sure if the Mars actually has that capability built in or not. I'll have to look that one up. Let's see here. Oh. So, oh, I see what you're talking about. So this is a dragon. It's not actually hair. I missed those completely. So I'm going to go with light ones on this. Yeah, you are correct. I would have totally missed those. So I'm holding down control and using my left mouse button to move it up and down. These are going to be fun to try to remove. Already tell it. So those look like they're going to come up. Okay, that is going to be there. Nope. There we go. Okay, I have no idea what I just did there. I see one other spot. There we go. So I could hollow him out, but I think that being that he's a mini, I don't think that it's really worth it. I don't think you're going to get enough clear out on him for it to matter. So I think we're good here. So let's slice him. See how he looks here. And then I like to go down and just see how it looks. Anything. The biggest thing I do, so I just kind of make sure everything looks okay as it's going down, slicing layer by layer. And most of it I really don't care a lot about. I just make sure that there's something there. What I really care about is right here. Is there a base? Does it go down to 0 and there's something there? When I was slicing when I was doing the 4 of these, the first one I sliced, 3 of them got to this point and there was a base, but one of them was not there. That's a problem. So, yeah. Okay. Going to say, or over here, let me save this over to the thumb drive. Oh yeah, it takes a little bit for it to save. That's one thing I don't like about this. You tell it to save, it slices it, you tell it to save, and then like right now I'm looking at it and it's going up in size. And I don't see any indicator saying that it's slicing. Oh, there it is, right, successful. Okay. I just wish it had like an indicator over here saying how long it's taking to slice, kind of like how, you know, Cura and Simplify 3D have. I think it just kind of make it a little more user friendly. No, it does not. Well, actually it might, but it just uses the software. And since I'm already using the software as it is, and I'm using basically the latest version, I figure I just use what I've got installed. But let's see what's on the drive after I get this started. print. Wow, this actually shows everything. I wonder if this will print a photon file. Oh, no. But it does show the fighter. So it is a cleaner interface. So if you've ever used a photon, one of the complaints is that the display is a little wonky. It's not easy to read. This display is, it's actually a bigger display, so that's probably why it's a little easier to read. But this is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people say it's basically 90% a photon, is because it uses the Chidu box hardware. So, and it uses the Chidu box slicer just like the photon does, except I don't think they rename it. So on the USB thumb drive that it came with, there is nothing on it. It is blank. So it does not come with any software. So what it says in their documentation is that it's saved on the U disk, which I'm guessing the thumb drive. But my thumb drive is absolutely blank. But you can download the latest on their website. So let's have a look at what that looks like. ELEGOO.com download. Wow. They have a lot of stuff on here. Oh yeah, they do a lot of things. This is just a little piece of their world. Okay. So they do have what it looks like is their own slicer. And it looks like it updated 5/30/2019, so it's actually a fairly recent version of it. I just don't know that I want to install it, considering it's just... Actually, I'm not going to install it because it just is the Chidu box that's been, modified for their stuff. Uh-oh, lost chat. Where's my chat? Oh, I don't want to listen to myself. There we go. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Where's OBS? There's OBS. Okay, here we go. I probably need to rename these something better. Oh, I know what I kind of messed this up, I think. I should name this there we go. That was kind of bad. So let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to see what... nobody wants to see that. Whoops, nobody wants to see that. Let's see here. Sorry, trying to get back to... Nope, not that. That. I cheat. I don't have a good capture software. I just grab using Live Viewer on my Canon camera. So it's printing away right now. Let me point this at the, so you can kind of see a little bit. You've got this is one of the base layers that it's doing. It's 1% right now. It's on layer 5. You just see it went black. So it's now on layer 5. We're getting ready to go to layer 5. Just went up and back down, and now it's doing its thing. So we'll have to see if it prints out. It's supposed to take about 6 hours 5 hours and 59 minutes. So I'll call that a good 6-hour print time. So we'll have to see, because that'll print, I guess, overnight now. And I'll know tomorrow if it came out. I'm really hoping it does, because it'd be really nice to actually, be able to test this resin on a different printer, get some other results. I think I'm going to probably fire it up on the Photon again, and I want to reslice it, see if my theory will work, and see how that will work, and see if see if different supports will work a little bit better. Oh, what are the file? Let's see here. Hey, congrats. It's always good when the prints come back perfect. I haven't actually been doing a lot of printing beyond resin lately, and I'm always scared about that. So the extension these print is, give me a second here. It's kind of a weird extension. It is CD or C B is in beta, D is in delta, D is in delta, Lima, Papa. So Charlie, Bravo, Delta, Delta, Lima, Papa. It is a really weird file extension name. Yeah. So this is my this is what I use to clean up all my prints, and this is about ready to be tossed. I've been using it for a very long time. This is my little nail thing to get them to cure them. This is the scraper. These work really good. Paint palette to scrape off the print off the bed works really, really good. Oh, it is a standard format? I've never actually seen that. It may be standard for the program. I've just never seen it before. But I've only ever outputted to .photons, so previous to this. But you can see I've printed different things. So I don't have it here with me. So basically, when you take those these white filters, you take the little filter thing out of them, and you actually put it in here, and you can basically put these inside your various containers. Oh, here we go. I thought I had one here that I cleaned recently. So you just you just put this in here, like so, and then you can just reuse those. And then I've found that you can actually put them in IPA a couple times, and you can actually rinse them out several times and continue using them. So if you ever want something, this is something on Thingiverse. And then I've got this. I really like this, and this was inexpensive. It was, I think, on AliExpress you can find these for like 70 cents. The only problem is that it's got a fairly fine strainer. I found a different one on Amazon I'm thinking about grabbing. And then this works really good for swishing things around. So yeah, so that's what I'd use. And I like this too, because then when I'm curing stuff on it, it's metal or it's silver, so it reflects right back up underneath it. So yeah, that's my cure station. Then I've got a small pan, which I'm going to have to get another one for this. I actually put the Photon inside that disposable pan. So if it ever were to, God forbid, rupture and have problems and leak, it'll actually continue working. Sorry. Huh. I just had a back door try to open on my system. I wonder if it has anything to do with this thumb drive. Interesting. Sorry. So basically, it's to help contain whatever happens there. I find these disposable things work really well. They're inexpensive, and I really like them. Makes life easier cleanup, keeps everything in one spot. It does make sense, yeah. Chidubox DLL or DDL, yeah. It's just a really long extension. I'm used to, I'm an old PC user. I'm used to three dot extension, not what is that, 5 characters. So, well, I'm gonna call it quits here because I have some grading to do for my class. Oh, night's not even close to being done yet, so. um, so thanks for stopping by, you guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow morning I will post on the Facebook group, the Tabletop Craft or 3D Printing Guild, the final, the final miniature. Hopefully it'll be that cool-looking dragonkin with the dual swords. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that'll be what it looks like. So, um, oh, that little scraper thing, the Games Workshop tool for removing support residue. So, one thing that I use at times is a deburring tool. It's just when you're doing when you're deburring a hole, it's a little cutter and you just slide around. You can also use it along the edges. It's not quite as good as the Games Workshop one because it's not fixed, but it works for me. And I'm cheap. So, yeah, I do plan on posting some pictures, assuming it prints. I'm also running it. Oh, here, let's see. I'm running it through my Wemo, whatever this is called. I'll tell you here in a second. I can tell you what the draw rate is on it. The Wemo Insight. So, wow, this has been off since January 9th. Let's see here. So it's been on for 51 minutes today. And I don't think it's connected. It's kind of weird. Not seeing the light. Well, it's showing 51 minutes today, so it should be connected. So it's showing 54 watts, but it's not showing real-time data, which is kind of weird. But it's showing an average of 54 watts on this. Oh, I was looking at this and it's all black. I'm like, oh no, but there we go. So the draw's not too bad at 54 watts on it. So I think I'm going to call it there. So, oh, dental scraper, that'd be kind of interesting. So I hope you guys like this and get to see a new 3D printer. I'm really hopeful. I should be getting the longer 3D. They've told me they'll send me one of those Orange 30s. They're kickstarting right now. Once they release, they're supposed to be sending me one of those. So hopefully sometime in the future I'll be able to review one of those. So that would be kind of cool. So different, another, and that's a very different 3D printer where the Photon and the Mars are obviously you can tell they're very, very, very similar 3D printers. But yeah, this is the ELEGOO Mars. It's a resin printer and fairly inexpensive one. Looks like it's pretty good so far. I'm really happy with it. So set up and it looks good, and so far it seems to be functional. I would say the one thing that I do like on it over the Photon that I'm seeing so far is the display is nicer. It's got a larger display. It's a little more contrasty, so you can actually see the difference between, or the difference in pieces. It's easier to see the picture of the item you're choosing. You can see it further away. Like sitting this far away, it's actually easy to see. where I'm about the same distance over to the Photon here, and it's really not easy to see. So that's really nice. But on the flip side, the USB thumb drive is on the back. I don't know why they put the thumb drive on the back and the power switch. To me, that's just crazy. Put them on the side, put them on the front, don't put them on the back. That's just really bad to me. But like I also said earlier, I'm going to probably set up one of those um, Raspberry Pi Zeros and create a wireless. Basically, it ends up being like a wireless thumb drive. So I'll have to do that, in the near future. That'll be kind of a fun little project. So thanks, Keith. Thanks, William. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching this. And you guys have a great evening. Take care.